All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the first task that you're going to need to complete is threading a needle. So I'm going to show you step by step how to get this done both with and without the use of a needle threader. So for starters, you want to make sure that you have the correct kind of needle. This is a sharp, so notice first of all that the eye on this is really, really small, and our total length on our sharp here is only about 1.5 inches long. Now, if you're going to do this by hand, then you are going to need to take the end, one end of a piece of thread, and put it through that eye and then double the thread back on itself to form a chain. So hang on just a second, let me show you. So here is the end of a piece of thread. You want to make sure that you don't have any fuzzies or anything hanging off the end there, otherwise this is not going to work properly. So you are going to simply stick the thread through the eye of the needle. There you go. Once the thread is through the needle, then you are going to continue drawing the thread until you can meet the ends together. So one end is going to come and meet the other. Then kind of give them a roll. And then tie it off. I like to triple loop mine. So I just stick the tail back through the circle a couple of times to triple loop my knot just to make it a little bit larger. And then I'm going to pull that until I've got a knot on the end. So really what's happening is I'm kind of making a thread necklace where the needle is the pendant and then the knot of the thread would be the clasp of the necklace. Okay? Now let me show you how to do this using a needle threader. This is my needle threader. I picked this up at a craft store once upon a time. I don't ever really use it, clearly, because I've never opened it before. This particular model has different loops for different sizes of needle. The cheap little one that you get in your standard sewing kits have this wire end that looks like that, but instead of this plastic grip, usually they have a foil grip that kind of looks like a dime. That's probably what you've got if you have a needle threader. So let's finally, years later, open this guy up. There we go. And I will show you how to use him to thread a needle. So we have our tiny little sharp's eye on this needle. And what I'm going to do is instead of sticking thread through it, I'm going to stick this wire loop through it. I might need to pinch it just a bit to get it through. Once I've got it all the way on, I can let go of my needle and it's not going to go anywhere. Then I can take my thread end and stick it through that giant loop that we just made. And it doesn't really matter which direction you go. Like so. Now I can pull the wire back out of the needle, and as I do that, it's going to thread my needle for me, like this. Voila! Now, I just repeat the process from earlier, where I'm going to make my thread ends meet and then tie them off in a knot. And I like to sort of twist them together so that they form a single fiber. And then I just loop it around my finger and then bring the tail in through the center of the loop. A couple of times. I like to do 3. 3 is my magic number when I'm sewing. bring the tail through the center until you've got as many loops as you want, and then pull that until the loop gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you finally end up with a knot. And here again, we've got our needle necklace with our thread as the chain and the needle as the pendant and then the knot as the clasp. And that's how to thread a needle.